Hello, everybody. Four Eyes here. I was originally gonna be taking a bit longer to make this video, and I was gonna get a bit more editing done on it and do a bit more just fancy kind of stuff with it. But considering some recent events, I decided it would be a bit better just for me to go ahead, record this just off the cuff, off the top of my head, and just talk about this subject because some recent events have made me really want to just get this out there. So I'm going to be talking about the whole national decks in Sword and Shield thing that's been going on. There's not really going to be going much on screen, so you can tab off and just listen to this background you want, or you can stare at the pretty pictures of Joltik or whatever. Um, but basically, for those of you who are living under a rock, a few weeks ago at E3, it was announced that the national dex was not going to be included in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield during like the demo that they were playing. Now, the thing with this is, at first, it doesn't seem like a bad thing because, like, okay, there's no national dex in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. It was kind of just a thing in name only. All the Pokemon are still there. No, they are literally taking the national dex away and just not including some Pokemon in Sword and Shield. We don't know which Pokemon these are yet. We don't know, like, how many are exactly going to be in the game. We just know that there are going to be some Pokemon that are just not going to be available in the game, and you are not going to be able to transfer them in. Which makes you kind of wonder what Pokemon Home is for, but we're going to get to that later. Now, of course, the fan response to this was massively negative. Like, it is overwhelming how many people responded, like, negatively to this announcement. Like, Jesus Christ, I thought people would have responded more negatively, let's go, than they did this. Um, but the problem is I think okay, here, we'll get to that in a minute. So, here's my thoughts on it. I think this is a bad thing too. I do not like the idea of the national dex being cut. I do not like the idea that not all every Pokemon's going to be available. We're not going to get to see uh, all the new interactions between old Pokemon and new Pokemon, like in like a meta sense, like teams that could be built, like integrating some of the new Pokemon with the old Pokemon. We're just going to get kind of like the set number of old Pokemon and new Pokemon. And it was, for those of you thinking, well, that's not so bad. They could just patch it in later. Masuda made an announcement, basically, where he didn't like he said basically nothing during the announcement like that he made. He basically said, "We're sorry, and we know that you feel upset, but please understand, we're working very hard," or something like that. But he basically said that they have no plans to include the Pokemon that are being left out in like future updates and DLC, which seems like a massive like waste of like the Switch's capabilities, if you ask me. Because the Switch could easily hold all the Pokemon, or like we could easily like have them all loaded off of like some like free DLC update or whatever. But no, they're not doing that. So okay, the thing I see with this is there is a way this could work out. Now, hear me out on this. Pokemon Home is basically the sort of like Pokemon Bank for the Switch. You're going to be able to transfer all your Pokemon from Pokemon Bank over to Pokemon Home and then into Sword and Shield. Now, I don't know why they didn't just take Pokemon Bank and update it to work on the Switch, because now you have to pay a subscription probably for both Pokemon Home and Pokemon Bank, which is a whole nother topic I don't want to get into because I think that's freaking greedy and lazy, but whatever. But they have stated that there will be a use for Pokemon that are not going to be able to be used in Pokemon Sword and Shield in Pokemon Home. So that makes me think that Pokemon Home is going to have maybe some sort of like online battle thing built in. Maybe it'll have like some sort of like, maybe it'll also kind of like be like a mini Pokemon Stadium. That'd be kind of cool, honestly. And so that's the way I see this working out. And I think that it could kind of help lessen the blow if that was the thing. Sure, it's gonna absolutely suck. We'd have to pay a monthly fee just to use some of the old Pokemon, but you know, it at least there would be something. You know, at least there would just be they just kind of sit in there forever. Now, the other way I see this working out is if they think really hard about like what Pokemon to include, and they do it in a way that kind of is in more of like either like really cool theme sets for the region, or if they start treating the meta kind of like some sort of rotations in card games. So, for those of you who don't know me very well, I am massively into Magic the Gathering, and in that there is a format called Standard. And so basically, in the trading card game, there are sets that are released like every few months or so. And these sets have like new cards. Sometimes they reprint old cards, and there's a format called Standard, which rotates every now and then, but only uses the most recent few sets. Now, with Game Freak, does this thing where they focus more on the meta. There could be kind of this cool thing they do where they change it up every now and then, like make it look like really different by like thinking really hard about like what Pokemon are included and such within each game. And so then that kind of sort of makes like this interesting like standard rotation where every now and then there'll be the meta will just look different from one game to the next because of the Pokemon that are included. Now I don't like this idea. I still would prefer to have every Pokemon like done, but this is a way that could at least the no national dex thing could at least be integrated in a way that would be interesting. Again, I do not like the idea of the national dex being cut, but this is sort of a way that it could be done where it's not as like hard of a loss, I guess you could say. But of course, I have been for years I have always thought that the Pokemon fan base wasn't as toxic as some other games' fan bases. Cough Undertale, cough Sonic, cough, cough. But Jesus Christ, these past few weeks have proven me wrong. So people have been screeching over Twitter, like using the hashtag bring back national decks, or some people are also using the like calling it Dexit or whatever. A nice little political joke there, you people. Great job, A plus. But people have been spamming this nonstop at Pokemon and such and whatever. And okay, whatever, people are going to spam a hashtag. But the past few days, there was an event, a couple events, that it's just going too far. So, the first one is Masuda recently put out a tweet. Like, he replied to somebody who posted like some pictures of like this Pokemon themed wedding they had. It was honestly really cute. It looked kind of cool. It looked like they had a lot of fun. And Masuda replied to it, basically saying, "Hey, congrats on your wedding. Hope you have a happy marriage. Blah 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 blah." You know. So, what do you think the appropriate fan response to this is? A, just kind of like the tweet, move on, retweet. B, retweet the tweet, move on. C, do both. D, reply with something else of your own, like, "Oh hey, that does look like a cool wedding. I bet they had a great time." Or E, the massive fan response of spam bring back national dex hashtags in reply to it and yell at Masuda for ignoring Pokemon fans. Masuda's not even the one directing this game, people. He stepped down after Let's Go. And that's not even like, just Jesus Christ, that's not even the worst of it. I'm gonna get on something else later. But this is not what you do. This is Masuda's personal Twitter account that they are taking to spam this hashtag on when he was congratulating somebody on their freaking wedding. This is now going to be tainted with people screeching about him removing a feature from a game. And just Jesus Christ, people. Why is this the response you have to somebody congratulating a wedding? Why do you decide to like go into their personal business now about like their work? And like the Pokemon games, there are some words that have been repeated to us many times throughout the Pokemon games that fit very well here. There is a time and place for everything, but not now. Jesus Christ. And that's the even worse thing is, like, just like yesterday or something, there was this person who made a Twitter account claiming to be like a former employee of Game Freak, which is not true at all, by the way. This person was not a former employee of Game Freak. This was a fake account made just to slander Masuda over not including the national dex. And the thing they do, the very first thing, is they go and make a false rape accusation. Like, the story is actually kind of hilarious with how false it is, but they just decide to go straight to rape accusation on Masuna. And that is not okay. Because if even one person ends up, like, realizing that this is not a troll account and ends up taking this seriously, this is going to ruin Masuda's career. Like, and, like, I'm all for, like, Masuda's career, like, kind of going south, honestly, because he's kind of not been doing great, honestly, lately. But I want it to happen in a natural, organic, like, market-driven way. I want it to happen because people are not buying his games. I want it to happen because maybe his performance is not, like, doing as well. But I I don't want it to happen because somebody makes a false rape accusation, because then his career is absolutely ruined forever, and there's no way for him to, like, ever really get back into the world, like, and even, like, do anything really. Like, those types of accusations ruin people's lives if anybody takes them seriously, no matter if they were false or true. Like, for years down the road, even if it's proven false, people still see that rape accusation, like, on a resume, and they're like, oh crap, we can't hire this person. It's just, this is going too far, people. Like, yes, it sucks that National Dex is, like, not in the games, but at this point, with how we've been acting about it, acting like absolute children over it, we do not deserve the National Dex in these games anymore, people. You've taken it too far. Like, all these people on Twitter have just taken it way too far, like, screeching about it and just acting like entitled brats over it. Like, yes, it sucks that, like, freaking, I don't know, Maractus is not in the game, but it just, calm down, people. Calm the hell down.